Well, here's a question for you. Is Florida a bad place to retire? Well, that depends on a lot of things, but one of the biggest things, Dan, is the fact that there are some parts of Florida, especially with insurance, that are becoming very, very expensive. Weather's great if you like warmer weather and everything else, but there's a lot of factors if you're going to think about retiring in Florida.
Well, there's a lot of benefits to Florida. The seasons, it's a little bit warmer. They don't have the snow that we get in a lot of different areas, and so Florida is a very popular place to retire. A lot of the politics, people in the South like that as well, so Florida becomes a popular place for that. About 4 in 10 of the residents in Florida are over the age of 50, which is the 5th highest percentage in the entire country. So you can see the demographics there, and the numbers really cater towards the retirees. But the big question mark is, are they going to be able to stay in Florida, or is Florida still going to be one of those prime desired locations? A lot of that is stemming around the cost of insurance. I've got some friends with family down there. We have a lot of clients down in the Florida area. And some of them I've talked to recently in the last year or so because of some of the hurricanes that lost their insurance and really struggled to even find an insurance company that would cover them. If they could find a company that would cover them, here's some numbers for you. The average cost of homeowners insurance in America is around $2,700 per year. In Florida, the average is around $4,200, and I would say in these retirement communities and the desired areas, that cost is significantly higher than that.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that, it seems like over the last several years that there's been more hurricanes and storms that have come in with more significant damage. So part of this equation might be whether or not you plan to be on the coast, or more in a city that maybe is an hour or so away from the beach. That can certainly impact that choice, as well. So, those are all things that you need to do. I've had folks come in our office, Dan, I know you have too, that have looked at the price of homes in Florida without adding to it what the cost of insurance is, which is something that you're really, really going to want to do before you start making plans to move down there. And I always tell folks is, if you have an area of Florida that you really like, it's good to take a week or a weekend, go down there, visit, get to know the area, sit down with a real estate agent for 2-3 days and kind of shop around a little bit and check out that insurance. But again, still certainly no shortage of people that are going to be retiring in Florida. So, you and I got a while before we retire. Where are you going to retire?
I don't know. I mean, I'll be honest. I like Nashville. I like what it has to offer. I'm not one of these that is disappointed in the growth we've experienced. I like the size of the city that we live in. To be honest, a lot of people will disagree with me. I don't think our traffic is that bad. I drive from Franklin to Hendersonville, Franklin to Mount Juliet, Franklin to Murfreesboro in the mornings and in the late afternoons on a very regular basis. And if I hit a few minutes of traffic or slowdown on my way home at 8 in the morning or 5 at night, that's about all that I get. And to be perfectly honest with you, compared to a lot of other towns and cities, that's really not that bad. So I think I would stay here in Nashville. A lot of that depends on where my kids go. We've both got 3 kids, John, and where they end up could significantly influence where my wife and I decide to retire. But if it wasn't Nashville, I would say I would want to go somewhere in the mountains. We found a new love for the mountains and skiing, but that would probably be a place that we go for a few months in the winter, and then probably somewhere more down south for the summer. How about you guys?
I'd say similar. We love Nashville, and we'll probably always have some sort of presence here. 3 kids, they're getting up to college age, so that we're not going to run our life around them, but certainly wanting to see grandkids and stuff. We love the beach. We take a trip to the beach every year, but we're exactly like you. We've really grown to love the mountains, especially in the fall. And so I would say if I had a different place other than Nashville, ours would probably be the mountains as well.
Yeah, that kind of brings us to kind of the final point here. There is a trend out there, and that trend is for people to have kind of a home base like Nashville, where it has a lot of amenities, it's quick and easy to get to an airport, but then they may go and stay somewhere for 2 or 3 months. A lot of the generations today, they don't want to be tied to one place. And so they'll go and spend a couple months down in Florida in the winter. They may go spend a couple months up in the mountains in the winter as well, or in the summertime. So that trend is widely popular, and then you can find an area where the cost of living is actually lower, and you just kind of travel to some of those other places. So thank you for watching today's episode in Retirement Talk. Subscribe below to get more shows and information just like this.